Rain echoes in the distance as the warm glow of flickering candles illuminates the interior of a small room in Florence, Italy. Wooden beams line the ceiling and the walls are adorned with detailed sketches and paintings. A Renaissance painter works meticulously as his hand glides over the painting's unfinished necklace field landscape. His brushstrokes gently perfect the images on the canvas as rain echoes in the distance.
Centuries later, the sound of falling rain continues to echo in the distance. There is a darkly lit room with a small bed. A picture frame sits inconspicuously on a nightstand. An old man tosses and turns in the bed. Suddenly, he sits up and lets out an agonizing cry. Esperanza! A 24-year-old man wearing a janitor's uniform hears the cry and hurries to the old man's room. He knocks on the door. Señor! Señor! There is no answer. Once again, the old man is heard crying out. No! Oh God, please, no! The janitor pulls out his universal card key and unlocks the door. He enters the room and sees the old man weeping. He rushes to the old man's side and immediately tries to comfort him. It was just a dream, Señor. That's all it was. Just a dream. No, it was real. It was not a dream. It was real. I was there in another place, in another time. It was me. It was me. I was there.
Across the street from the old man's hotel room stands the newly renovated Capitol Theater. A beautiful bi-level auditorium located in the heart of downtown Brownsville, Texas. An old woman sits in the crowded theater next to an empty seat. Outside the doors of the Capitol Theater, a 19-year-old doorman is seen waiting patiently. He opens his umbrella and moves toward an approaching car to welcome a late arrival. Good evening, Mayor. It looks like it's gonna be an extraordinary night, Manny. I just hope I'm not too late. Late? No, sir. They're just about to start the first act, sir. Once inside the building, the mayor takes off his raincoat and hands it to the doorman. Maybe after tonight, she'll finally agree that Romeo and Juliet is the greatest love story of all time. Yes, sir. She said she'd be waiting for you in the skybox, sir. The mayor smiles and makes his way up the stairs. The old woman waves when she sees him. The mayor waves back and makes his way to the empty seat as the lights begin to dim. On stage, a well-seasoned actor begins to recite the prologue from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet as the sound of falling rain echoes faintly in the distance. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. the which of you with patient ears attend. What here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Spring 1492. From the darkness, a magnificent sunrise begins to appear over the southern coast of Andalusia, Spain. The small town of Palos de la Frontera can be seen in the distance. An aerial view of the rugged terrain displays several small farms. As the morning light brightens, one large, well-kept farm comes into view. Various farm animals are seen beginning their morning rituals. In the distance, a proud rooster struts past a busy hen house. Images of the bare feet of Santiago, age 16, and his younger brother, Manuelito, age 12, are seen running along a dirt path. The two boys stop at an old wooden fence just a few feet away. The same proud rooster flies onto the fence and flaps its wings as it lets out a crow. In an attempt to scare the rooster away, Santiago shouts out in a strong but quiet whisper,
Vamos. The rooster flaps its wings and scurries away. The two boys jump over the fence and creep toward the nearby hen house. A small wooden cross necklace hangs loosely from around the younger boy's neck. The boys lie on the ground and drag themselves underneath the coop. Santiago looks through a small crack in the floor and positions himself directly under the hen's nesting area. From underneath the hen house, he begins to loosen the wooden floorboard that is located next to the nests. He quietly lifts the floorboard from its place and slides it to one side. Inside the hen house, the hens are only slightly stirred. Santiago slowly sticks his hand through the opening and begins to feel around for eggs. He finds one and carefully lifts it from its nest. He slips it out through the opening and hands it to his younger brother. The two boys listen quietly for a few seconds, and then Santiago carefully reaches in for another egg. Suddenly, we see two pairs of shoes walking hastily as an extremely overweight kitchen worker and his slim first assistant make their way to the hen house. I know I heard someone! Santiago quickly grabs the second egg and calmly returns the floorboard to its place. Quietly, the boys drag themselves away from the approaching footsteps. But as they near the opposite end of the coop, another pair of shoes appear directly in front of them. The boys stop immediately and stare at the feet of the cook's second assistant. I do not see no one! The boys wait until the worker makes his way to his associates. Then they quietly scramble out from underneath the hen house and secretly make their way to the nearby fence. The boys jump over the fence and race off down the dirt path. The cook's first assistant sees the boys running off into the field and shouts to his fellow workers, "There! There they go! Get them! No! Those rabbits are far too fast for us. Besides, one must not
push what must clearly be pulled with the appropriate lure, of course. Always the appropriate lure! The worker nods his head and smiles as he watches the boys run off into a large field and disappear into a wooded area. Slowly, his smile turns into a wicked grimace. Bring me some rope!
The boys continue to run until finally stopping to rest behind a tree. Off in the distance, they can see a girl, Esperanza, age 15, retrieving water from a well. Look, Santiago, there she is. Your undiscovered dream, she is always there, waiting as if some strange, unforeseeable force draws her to you. Always there, Manolito, there is where she lives. Where else do you expect her to be? Besides, she would never be drawn to me. In her eyes, I am nothing more than a poor, simple peasant. Perhaps, my brother, but you are a handsome, poor, simple peasant. Handsome, one who steals eggs. Like you always say, my brother, we all must do what we must do. But things will get better. I know they will. Trust me. Santiago reaches for some soft dirt and lets it slip slowly through his fingers. If I only had a handful of your faith, little brother. Santiago, Mama always said it is our faith that makes our dreams come true. But it is your task to believe. Perhaps, but it is not easy to believe when there is so little to believe in, and the hunger grows deeper with each passing day. Well then, you poor hungry peasant, what are you waiting for? We have the eggs. The last one home does the cooking. Manuelito hurries home. Santiago takes another secret peek at Esperanza. Then he too hurries home.
Esperanza is seen entering the farmhouse carrying a bucket of water. Her father, Senor Gonzalez, is sitting behind a small desk holding a piece of paper. I am back, Papa. She places the bucket on the kitchen table and walks over to her father. She wraps her arms gently around his neck. What is the matter, Papa? A wonderful neighbor has filed another complaint against me. Papa, he knows it was an accident. Yes, as he also knows that I will never allow our land to be used as any kind of settlement in this or any other concocted scheme. But I fear for you, Papa. Esperanza, I have done everything I can to help, but I will not be intimidated by any man's threats. Please, Father, do not place the land before your well-being. I am sorry to worry you, my dear Esperanza. Please do not worry on my account. Everything will be fine. Remember, God is with us. He is always with us. Yes, Father.
A knock at the front door of the farmhouse is heard. Esperanza makes her way to the door. She opens the door and is surprised to see two familiar faces, Federico and Benjamin. The young men are dressed in guards' uniforms. Federico, Benjamin, what are you doing here? I am very sorry, Esperanza, but the judge has ordered that your father be arrested immediately. He is to be taken to the prison until his case can be heard. But Federico, my father is innocent. I am very sorry, cousin, but the judge is the only one who can determine that now. From the rear of the room, Senor Gonzalez is heard. Esperanza, where are your manners? Please ask our visitors to come in. I have been expecting them. Esperanza opens the door, and the guards enter. Would you gentlemen like something to eat or drink before we depart? Benjamin looks at Federico, hoping to hear a yes. No, uncle, muchas gracias. We have strict orders to escort you to the prison as soon as possible. Very well then, let us not delay. Senor Gonzalez turns to Esperanza. Please do not worry, my dear. We will have this matter cleared up in no time. Remember, even when we think we are alone, he is always with us. Yes, Father, of course. You are right. There is no need for worry. Everything will be cleared up in no time. Be safe. Papa, please. Be safe. Esperanza gives her father a strong embrace, and the guards gently escort him out the door. She stands in the doorway and stares momentarily as the men walk along an old dirt path, then closes the door and begins to weep.
A small, poorly kept shack sits on a rocky patch of land. The front door is open and a rooster, Samson, can be seen pecking at the dry earth inside the small home. Eggs sizzle as they fry in a pan over an open fire. Santiago stands over the pan. His younger brother stands at a rear door as if in a trance, staring out toward the backyard. He begins to speak. Santiago, it is far too dangerous to continue stealing eggs from the judge's henhouse. If we are caught, he will impose severe penalties for our crimes. Santiago responds. The real danger, little brother, is that we will become ill with hunger and die. Besides, we are only borrowing the eggs. See? Santiago points to several notches on a piece of wood. When we find Samson his Delilah, we will repay the judge for all that we have borrowed. Samson continues to peck at the earth floor. Manuelito looks at his older brother with a worried face. Santiago, Mama told me it is not borrowing when the person you are borrowing from does not know you are borrowing from him. Well then, little brother, how can it be stealing if the person you accuse me of stealing from is, in fact, the thief who stole what you now accuse me of stealing? One cannot steal from another what was never his to begin with. Santiago, his wrong does not make yours right. It is still dishonorable. I know you promised Mama you would care for me, but I am not sure she would approve of your methods. Again, constantly worrying little brother. Santiago moves to the table and places the fried eggs on 2 separate plates. He pulls out a chair and sits down. All right, no more borrowing eggs. We will find another way. He pours some drink into 2 cups, then lifts his cup in a toast to Samson and Delilah. We see the rooster seem to respond to his name. Manuelito pulls out a chair and joins his brother at the table. Then, a sad, dispirited look slowly appears on the younger boy's face. The old man's voice is heard. He was my brother. Manuelito was my brother.
The hotel room. 2045, the old man continues to speak. It was not a dream, we shared the same blood. We breathed the same air. I know it sounds mad, but it is true. It was me, I was Santiago in another life, long ago. The only madness is I still remember. I remember it all. I asked my brother what was wrong, but all he could say was, I miss them, Mama and Papa. The mere words reminded me we had forgotten to say grace, so I bowed my head and I began to pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for smiling upon us and upon Spain. And we humbly accept these precious gifts that you have bestowed. Please, Lord, keep Papa safe and help us find new hope. A new way and a new beginning. And please say hello to Mama and tell her we are doing well. And please do not mention anything about the eggs. My brother and I will repay what we have borrowed as soon as we are able, Lord. Gracias, Señor, in your holy name. Amen.
They both make the sign of the cross. Then young boy unexpectedly stands up and quietly exits out the back door of the shack. Santiago stands and calmly follows his brother. Manuelito stops at their mother's gravesite. In the distance there is an old water well. Santiago reaches the gravesite and stands next to Manuelito. Santiago, do you really believe there is a heaven? Yes, of course. And it is a wondrous place where God and all of his beautiful angels live, and Mama waits for us there. One day, if we are true to our faith, we will all be together again for all eternity. And will Papa be there too? Yes, but first, when he returns from fighting the Moors, we will have a plentiful harvest and it will all be right and joyous again. I just know it will, Santiago. Papa should have been home by now. I fear he is dead. No, he is alive, and once he learns we are alone, he will return to us. But you must never lose hope, little brother, never. The boy lunges into Santiago's arms and begins to weep. Santiago tries to comfort his brother. Everything will be all right. Trust me. I know it will. The morning sun shines through the tree's branches as it illuminates the warm spring day.
Early the next morning, the same proud rooster struts in front of the busy hen house. Manuelito is seen slowly making his way toward the hen house. This time, he is alone. He looks around the corner of the hen house and quietly enters through the front entrance. Once inside, he reaches for a fat hen. It clucks loudly as he picks it up. He makes the sign of the cross. Forgive me, Mama. With the hen under his arm, he begins to make his way toward the exit when suddenly the entranceway is slammed shut. Manuelito is trapped. He stuffs the hen inside his shirt and anxiously looks for an alternative exit. The cook's second assistant places a wooden bar across the door. A small coil of rope hangs from his belt. Antonio, come quickly! I have captured the thief who steals our eggs! The kitchen worker's second assistant rushes out the back door of the main house and runs toward the hen house where one is jumping with joy. Both kitchen workers wait eagerly for cook Antonio. Hurry! Antonio! Hurry! Your trap. It worked. Your rabbit, it is ready for skinning. The overweight cook pants as he hurries to the hen house holding a cleaver in his hand. I told you we could catch even the fastest of rabbits. With the right lure, of course. Always the right lure. The three men laugh. All right, little rabbit, now you will pay for your thievery. And the judge, he will reward us for our cleverness. One moves closer to the door. He removes the wooden board and slowly opens the ramp. Cook Antonio stands waiting with his cleaver in hand as one cautiously sticks his head inside the coop. It is empty. He is gone. There is no one here. But how? I heard him! I saw him!
One enters the hen house and begins to look around frantically. The hens are greatly disturbed. Some of the hens begin to cackle and flutter around inside the coop. Others fly out of the hen house and onto Cook Antonio. What do you mean he is gone? A rabbit does not just disappear into thin air. One spots an opening in the floor. He gets down on his knees to get a closer look, then points to the suspicious opening. Look! The cook's first assistant turns and sees the opening. He quickly shouts to Cook Antonio.
Antonio! The rabbit! It is loose!
One sticks his head into the suspicious opening and curiously looks around from underneath the hen house. His view is upside down. He sees Cook Antonio's shoes. I can see his big, ugly feet.
Cook Antonio gets down on his knees and looks underneath the coop at one. You idiot, get out of there this instant!
Manuelito is seen running past 3 field workers. The cook's first assistant sees the boy racing across the field and yells, "There! There he goes! Cook Antonio
Manuelito is seen entering a wooded area. He weaves between some trees and continues to run until he reaches a large stone bridge that runs over a muddy stream. He jumps over the side of the bridge and quietly hides underneath it. He soothes the hen and waits until the 3 field workers and the 2 kitchen workers rush past him. Unexpectedly, a hand suddenly covers Manuelito's mouth. It is Santiago. The old man's voice is heard. It was all my fault. The hotel room. 2045. He was only following my example. I am the one who led him astray. We ran across the stream and up the bank. But to my surprise, 2 strangers appeared out of nowhere, each with his hand on the hilt of a dagger tucked within their belt. We just stood there, frozen in our tracks, unaware of the terrible omen this encounter would bring.
One of the unexpected strangers notices the younger boy hiding something beneath his shirt. Well, who are these 2 fine young lads, Pedro? And what is the little one holding on to so tightly beneath his shirt?
The hen cackles.
Well, now that is a familiar sound. What do you think, Alonso? Have these fine young lads brought us a gift? The 2 strangers move menacingly towards Santiago. Manuelito turns to run away, but finds himself face to face with a 3rd man holding an identical dagger. He points the dagger at Manuelito's throat. Alonso and Pedro each grab one of Santiago's arms as the 3rd man, Bartolome, reaches into Manuelito's shirt and pulls out the hen, then slowly lowers his dagger. How thoughtful of you, dear friends, to bring us such a fine-looking hen. Today we will feast and toast to your generosity. The younger boy speaks. Delilah is our hen. You have no right. Bartolome places his dagger at Manuelito's throat. This is my right, boy. Now run along, you poor excuses for thieves. I will repay your generosity by letting you live to steal another day. Bartolome calmly puts his dagger back into his hilt. The 2 strangers continue to hold Santiago. Just then, Cook Antonio, who has been trailing behind, runs, huffing and puffing, into the clearing. Ah, you have caught the thieves. Well, I will take those 2 sneaky little rabbits, and we will see how tight a noose the judge will fit around their scrawny little necks. None of the strangers move. Bartolome grins as he slowly turns to face the unexpected visitor. Thank you, dear sir. I will take the thieves and the hen now, and I will tell the judge of this great service you have done. Oh no, my dear fellow. Do as you wish with the boys. We, however, will accept the hen as our reward for their capture. Oh no, my dear sir, the hen must be returned immediately or else. Are you threatening me, my friend? Oh no, my dear sir, I do not wish to quarrel with you. But the hen, it must be returned to its rightful owner. You do quarrel with me, sir, whether you wish to or not, is of no consequence. Cook Antonio feels threatened. He holds the cleaver tightly in his hand and begins to shake nervously. Bartolome sees the cook's cleaver. All right, sir, have it your way. Bartolome holds the hen out with one hand and reaches for his dagger. With the other, Cook Antonio smiles as he steps forward to take the hen. But the stranger stabs Cook Antonio. Manuelito shouts, "No!" Cook Antonio looks at the stranger with surprise, then looks down at the bloody wound and drops the cleaver. He tries to hold on to Bartolome for support, but he cannot. The cook slowly falls to his knees. "Let go of me, you bumbling fool." There is shouting in the distance, Miguel won, and the 3 field workers have arrived at the clearing. "Antonio, have you found him? Hold him! Antonio, hold him!" The 2 strangers quickly release Santiago and run off into the woods. The boys remain still and continue to look at the dying man. Bartolome tries to free himself from the cook's grasp, but he cannot. When the boys see the workers nearing, they too run off into the nearby woods and hide. As the workers approach, Cook Antonio is still holding on to the stranger. A field worker holds a sharp field tool at the stranger's throat. And Bartolome drops his dagger and calmly hands the hen to one of the other field workers. We quarreled, and he attacked me. What else could I do? I had to defend myself. He left me no choice. The 2 field workers grab Bartolome by the arms while Miguel examines the cook's body. He is dead. Antonio is dead. Juan, who has picked up the bloody dagger, quickly drops it and stares at it as it lies abandoned on the ground. "Juan, give them your rope and go bring the wagon. Go!" Juan throws the rope on the ground and quickly runs off in the direction of the farmhouse. "Tie him up! We must take him to face the judge!" The men tie up Bartolome. An aerial view of the scene shows Juan running across the bridge and toward the farmhouse.